Hello, Man in Gray here with another Man in Gray book review. Today's book is 99 Ways to Tell a Story, Exercises in Style by Matt Madden, published in 2005 by Chamberlain Brothers. It's 208 pages long. Matt Madden is a cartoonist and comic book writer who has also taught at Yale University's Visual Arts School. And he was inspired to write this book by a book that was written in 1947. In 1947, the French novelist Raymond Queneau wrote a very influential book called Exercises in Style, in which he tells a very simple story about a guy on a bus. And he tells that little story 99 times in a row, each time using a different style of writing. He writes it as a police report, as a sonnet, as an opera libretto, as a play, in Pig Latin and various French dialects from the different points of view of the different people involved and so forth. And since Queneau's book came out, there's been a number of other writers who have tried to imitate or copy this basic idea of telling a little story over and over again with slight changes or in different styles or different viewpoints or so forth. One of the most creative and interesting attempts to copy Ramon's book is this one, because what Matt Madden has done here is he's drawn 99 different cartoons, each one page long, and each telling the same simple story, but drawn in a different style. The basic story is it's late at night or early in the morning, and it takes place in Mexico City in the 1990s, and our author is sitting at a computer. He's in a small two-story studio apartment. He's sitting at a computer, and he decides to get up and get something out of the refrigerator. So he gets up and he starts walking toward the refrigerator. But his girlfriend, who's upstairs and also drawing something, calls down to him, "What time is it?" She asks what time it is, and he looks at his watch and says it's 1:15. And then he goes over and opens up the refrigerator, but because he had to stop and look for his watch, it's broken his train of thought. And now he can't remember what it was that he wanted out of the refrigerator. And that's the entire story. Goes up, goes to get something out of the refrigerator, can't remember what it was. And he draws this cartoon 99 different times using 99 different styles, and I jotted down a few of them here, so if you'll bear with me for a minute. He tells the story first from his own point of view, from Matt Madden's point of view. Then he tells the story from his girlfriend's point of view, then from the point of view of the refrigerator. Then from the point of view of a peeping Tom who's spying on the couple across the street using binoculars. He draws in a style of a Japanese manga, in the style of a 1940s war comic, in the style of a 19th century political cartoon. He does it in the style of George Herman, the creator of Crazy Cat back in the 1920s. He does it in the style of Winsor McCay, the creator of Little Nemo and Slumberland back in the 1910s. He does it in the style of R. Crumb, the underground comic artist from the 1960s. He does it as a how-to book, a how-to cartoon. He tells the story backwards. He tells the story as a 1950s science fiction comic. He tells it as a series of flashbacks where Matt is this old man now sitting in a Mexican bar and telling the story about how he did. So it's told as a flashback. It's also told as a single panel comic. It's told as a comic with just pictures and no text. It's told as a comic with just text and no pictures. It's told as a fantasy comic with unicorns and dragons. It's told as a western where Matt is a gunslinger, and it's told as it's drawn as an extreme close-up where all you see are tight shots of the refrigerator and Matt's face. It's done as a series of What's Wrong with This Picture comics where every panel has something wrong with it, illogical. It's done, one of my favorites is as an excerpt from the Bayeux Tapestry, where you see them, getting a refrigerator and the tapestry. It's done as a Charles Atlas bodybuilding ad, one of those cartoon ads in the back of comic books back in the 60s and 70s. It's done in the style of Hergé, the Belgian comic strip artist who created Tintin, the Tintin comics. It's done as a Marvel superhero comic. It's done as a road map. And another one of my favorites, it's done as a chick religious tract. If you don't know what those are, back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, there was this guy, his last name was Chick, who created these little comic book pamphlets that were right-wing, paranoid, evangelical Christian pamphlets where the Catholic Church is evil, and rock music has satanic lyrics in it, and all kinds of wild far right stuff. He was kind of MAGA before MAGA. Anyway, he does it as a chick religious track. He does it as an emergency poster, what to do if there's an emergency. He does a series of advertisements and as a series of silhouettes, and then a whole bunch of others. So just as in Ramon Queneau's book, the fun is, in Queneau's book, the fun was, the story. The fun is, how is he going to change it up? How is he going to come up with something new after he's done after you've done 60 or 70 versions of the story? How are you going to come up with something new? And it's the same way here. After you've done 40, 50, 60 comics of the same story, how on earth is he going to come up with something new? But he still does. He comes up with something completely different on each page. It's really a tour de force of cartooning. In fact, some art schools have this as a required read on the required reading list because it teaches the different styles of cartooning and the different techniques you can use. So there's one where it's extreme close up and one where it's extreme long shot, and there's one where it's looking down, and there's one where it's in photorealism. So there's all kinds of different cartooning styles done to tell this little story. So if you like cartoons and you like the history of cartooning and the different styles of cartooning, or if you're an art student, you're going to get a kick out of this book, 99 Ways to Tell a Story by Matt Madden. And that's today's book. This has been another Van and Gray book review. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time.